Hey everyone, this is Rachel, and this is going to be a process video, but I just wanted to chat a little bit because for the month of December, I did not make an unboxing of my Scrap Room Doubleshot kit. Basically because I wasn't really making videos at that time with the holidays coming up, I just didn't have time to do it. And I also did not pull anything from my stash to go with it, and I want to explain why, and this is why. This is my iris container of Christmas. All of my stuff is in here, except I do have one other iris case, and that is my iris case of Christmas cards. So I have one iris case for Christmas scrapbooking and one iris case for Christmas cards, and that other one has one of those little organizer thingies in it, and it has all my Christmas sequins and my Christmas stamps and my Christmas 6x6 paper pads and just 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper for card backs and all of that stuff that I keep separate because I really only use all that stuff for card making, not for scrapbooking, and Xanthi wants to get up in the worst way. Oh, go away. Go away, you weird little cat. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about that before I went ahead and started my video because I did not necessarily pull anything, and you'll see that's because I tend to only buy what I end up using up in the next season. So this year, if you watched I did a scrapbooking haul back in, I think, November, and I showed all of the Pink Fresh Studio Oh Joy stuff I bought. So I will use that for all of my Christmas pictures I took in 2016. I don't take a huge ton of Christmas photos. We tend to do the same thing every year. I also do a December daily every other year. So I did one for 2015 and I'll do one for 2017. We ended up, honestly, my nephew got sick in early December. He was sick for about a week. Then my housemate, his mom, was sick for another week, and then I caught it, and I was sick for another week. So basically, we spent all of December with one of us being really sick. So December was kind of a wash for me. I was actually kind of glad I didn't end up doing a December daily for this year, because it would have been sat on the couch, watch television. Sat on the couch, watch television. Sat on the couch, watched a Christmas movie. And that would have been the sum total of my December daily for 2016. All right, so I'm gonna pop this over to the side, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start up the video. All right, see y'all in a second.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go through my iris container of Christmas and just pull some things from the Oh Joy collection, some things from some older stuff I have, the, oh sugar, what's it called? Pink Paisley Yuletide collection, Teresa Collins Tinseling Company. These are previous lines I've used. In actual fact, you're going to see some layouts using both of those lines that I did back in July, excuse me, that I saved for this time period. All right, so I've used this line before from my Scrap Room kit. It is My Mind's Eye, Comfort and Joy, and several of the pieces have glitter. The backside of that plaid paper has glittered pine cones on it, and they're beautiful. But A, they're hard to cut, and B, they're very hard to glue. So for those of you who watch me, who've watched my videos, you know I'm a one who uses a lot of ATG. It's just the way I am. I'm always a little scared that everything's going to fall apart. But for this, I really went to town with the ATG. Also, the glitter gets everywhere. All over my hands, all over my cardstock. So this gutted piece is a little too gutted, unfortunately, for the papers I have left. So I'm just trying to find out what, yeah, it's all over my hands. I'm just trying to find out what will work. So what I decided to do is edge this wreath paper with 2 pieces of the plaid paper, but I didn't want to use it all up because it's beautiful, so I just cut 2 little strips. Now you saw me pull out that doily, and here's a funny thing. I'm actually watching YouTube videos while I'm scrapbooking because I got a new TV at Christmas, and it's now a lot easier to watch YouTube videos on my TV. So I'm watching Kelly O'Black, and she's doing albums for her nephew's wedding, and she's like, I'm trying to decide which doily to use, and I'm like, ooh, a doily, that would work well in this layout. So thank you, Kelly, for the inspiration. So once I get that cut down to the size I want, I'm going to mat my photo with the same plaid paper that edges that wreath paper on the upper and lower portion of my background paper. Now once I get that down, I am pretty happy with what I do, so I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And because this is just over where the gutted portion is, I'm going to take some, oh sugar, what's it called? Oh, washi tape. Oh my gosh, my brain. I'm going to take some washi tape, and the first one I grabbed was not cooperative in coming loose, so I grabbed another one and I just try to tape it. I'm actually going to have to go back and reinforce it with something else because where I taped it over is where the glitter paper is. And as I mentioned, it's very hard to glue. I am concerned with it coming loose once again. Alright, so I've got my photo, and because I'm using such larger patterned paper, I am going to keep it fairly simple. Plus, I do have a larger title. So once I get this down, all I'm going to do is trim off the portion of the doily that hangs off, and then add a little bit of glue above the photo to that doily, just so it doesn't stick up quite so much. So, excuse me, I'm going to add a big chunk of white paper below that, and that's actually where my journaling is going to sit. My housemate is actually going to write this story up, and she is going to type it up, and I'm going to print it out and do it in strips or in blocks below the photo using that white paper as a mat. This story happens to be about Christmas 2001, which is a Christmas after 9/11, and just what the true spirit of Christmas happens to be. It's just one of those, crazy stories. My housemate had been shopping all day. She had her son, who at the time, I've mentioned that my nephew is transgender, so at the time it was her daughter, and had her daughter with her. Her car broke down on the side of a highway, and this is before cell phones were prevalent. Someone stopped and did have a cell phone and called the police. The police officer was incredibly nice, and he and the tow truck driver took her daughter, and all of the presents she had bought to the tow truck tow truck garage, and then the garage manager offered to, he actually had his wife come over, and then his wife gave her and her child a ride home. And this is all like on the 23rd of December. So it just really, the story is really just about like what the true spirit of Christmas is, and about helping your fellow human, and miracles, not super important miracles, but just everyday things that seem miraculous at the time. She'd been a mom for less than a year. She was single. It was a really, really tough year. If you don't know, when you're a hairdresser and you don't work because you had a baby, you don't make any money. Like at all. So it had been a tough year for her. She was just getting back on track. It was, even though she had, obviously now was going to have a car repair bill, it was just a really wonderful feeling for her to get all this help from perfect strangers at a time, where, we had, as a country, had gone through something so devastating. Okay, so let's get back to the actual layout. While I'm laying out the title, I'm going to talk about what I did before the title. I took that wreath sticker from the Comfort and Joy sticker piece that came with my kit, and I cut a little bit of it off and tucked it behind the photo. That file folder wood veneer is from Elle Studios last year's Christmas. They're very, very thin. I find when they're very, very thin like that, it's actually better to use a dry adhesive, so my ATG, rather than a wet adhesive, because that just tends to soak in and not actually stick. I also grabbed that Home for the Holidays. This photo happened to have been taken at her parents' house in Long Island, and that is from the Comfort and Joy line, as is the sticker that has the stack of presents, because the story happened to be about, part of it happened to be about the, taking of the Christmas presents with them. And so Sorry, got a phone call there. All right. And then those two little wood veneer words, which say something like joy and wonder or something along those lines. Those are also from Elle Studio, only they are from this year's Christmas release, which I believe is called 'Tis the Season. Now, the word Christmas came from a Simple Stories 12 by 12 alpha pack, and that is from last year's Christmas release, which I don't remember what it's called. I'm so sorry. But then the red ones are Elle Studio, and then these white glitter ones are from KI Memories. So we're digging back a little bit here with that particular one. So I'm going to do one more. I think I have one more word, but I actually have two more words. Oh, there is no more E's, either big or little. But I do use a number 3 and turn it around. And no, look, it's an E. Yay! So I have the True Spirit Christmas, and I forget for a little bit that I need to put the word of there as well. So I'm going to poke through, and I'm going to use these Yuletide enamel dots in gold, and then I am going to punch a little hole in next to where each of those enamel dots are, and I'm going to use these Teresa Collins Tinsel & Company brads, and the top one says believe, and then the bottom, and that's when I realized, oh yes, you never use the word of. Okay, I'm just going to use the same Elle Studio in red, and then I'm going to add a red brad to the bottom embellishment cluster, and I am almost finished. I am going to add some mist, and first I choose this Vibes, which is called Golden Day, forgetting I have dark cardstock, so that is not going to work. I go and grab another one, and this one is called Before Dawn, and it's like a very darkish charcoal black. And that's going to be the last thing I do before I pick the layout up and kind of show you a close-up, and then it's going to be followed by some detail picks. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. Have a great day, everyone. And if you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. Bye!